Croeso gyfeillion. Hello and welcome to our first ever live recorded broadcast of episode 1 of Astrid Investigates, a comedy audio drama about a female gumshoe detective in an alternative Wales of the near future. We are Flying Bridge Theatre, a bilingual company from Wales, and I'm Tim Baker, one of the company's artistic directors. We usually produce touring shows, but COVID-19 has taken away our stages. Well, to be honest, not since Oliver Cromwell have theatres in Britain been closed for so long. It may be bleak, but we are excited for the artistic innovation this situation could inspire. Many thanks to the Arts Council of Wales for funding us to continue to make theatre, even without stages. It's going to be a challenge. To take up the gauntlet, we created Flying Bridge Online Rep Company, which is what you're listening to now. And this is our first season and our first episode, you lucky few. Each week we write, rehearse and record a new half-hour audio drama. That means each of our company are right now sitting in little home studios raring to go. We'll record our performances over the internet and mix it live and then make it available to you weekly. In total, there'll be 21 different stories, 14 in English, and 7 episodes will be entirely in Welsh. As you may have guessed, this one's in English, Manon and Saesneg. In a few seconds we'll begin, and as always, we'll be playing right through whatever happens, like we would do on stage. Astrid Investigates is written by both Daniel LLewelyn-Williams and myself, Tim Baker, inspired by the short stories of Alan Roderick. Right, let me quickly introduce the company before we get underway. Broadcasting from Swansea is Manon Eames. Say hello, Manon.
Hi everyone, hello Bow by Manon Eames, and I'm playing the heroine Astrid Price.
Thanks, Manon. And live from Newport, here's my co-writer, Daniel LLewelyn-Williams.
Thanks, Tim. Hi everyone, I'm Dan LLewelyn-Williams, and I'm playing every other character in Astrid's world, so go easy on me, please.
Cheers, Dan, but don't count on it. That leaves Wills, our technician in Mold, North Wales. Say hi, Wills. He hasn't got a mic, of course, because he's a technician. So that didn't work very well, did it? Anyway, moving on, I'm the director, Tim Baker, live from Ruthin. And right, no more nonsense, let's get on with the show. May I proudly introduce Series 1, Episode 1 of Astrid Investigates. This episode is called King Arthur's Crown.
Is this a dream? Yeah, that recurring rucking rugby dream, always portentous. Reliving the moment I help the old Wales win the Rugby World Cup. But every time I relive it, it's different. I make a stunning interception and I'm charging a diagonal to the left corner flag. Crowd going wild, snarling Maori forwards opposite me bearing down, except they're not rugby players anymore. Every time, it's different people. Crooks, thieves, stray cats, film stars and fraudsters. But this time, it's politicians. That's a new one for me. They tackle me and pile on with their carefully chosen suits and identical haircuts, covering me with a torrent of sleaze, slander and spin. Then, the leader of the English Settlers Party, Barry Gaddams, chop tackles me at the knee. I wake with a start. Whoa! Oh. Why am I dreaming about him? About terrorists? Barry Gaddams is the rumoured head of the English Reunionist Army, the ERA. It's a Saturday morning. I'm hungover, stirred and a little shaken. I can hear Mam preparing breakfast.
Hiya, Astrid. You look so good, love.
Thanks, Mam. Appreciate that.
Bad dream. The rugby won again.
You got it, Mam.
Oh, well, we all knows what that means. That phone of yours is going to ring any minute with a new assignment. You mark my words.
Ugh. What's this muck, Mam?
It's Cocoa Plops, love. Couldn't get no Weerios.
Somehow my day was going from bad to worse very quickly.
Oh, I've always said we was a psychic family. It was the same with you at Dar, mind. Night before a big heist, he'd always have a dream. A raid from our beloved Welsh police, the Heddley, or more often than not, him in a prison cell. Prosthetic, he was. Could tell a future in his dreams.
Don't you mean prophetic, ma'am?
Well, it didn't stop me getting pregnant, did it?
No, I think you mean... Oh, never mind.
Well, I just hope he's happy in Brazil, counting his ill-gotten gains, his glyndwrs by the pool, galvanising with a load of nubile young totty.
Ma'am, pied. I couldn't bear the way she spoke about my dad. Even though he hadn't exactly been a force for good all his life, I didn't like to hear him being bad-mouthed. Can we change the subject, ma'am? What you got there?
Oh, colour charts. Thinking of repainting the bathroom.
Oh, that's a nice one. Nice, that blue there.
I thought so too. Nice, innit? Woad, they calls it.
Oh, Celtic. That's fitting. The ancient warriors used to paint their thingies with woad and scare off the Romans.
Wouldn't scare me off, I can tell you. I could do with a load of woad in my life right now. Oh, there's your phone. Told you. What'd I say? That'll be your next job. Answer it, girl. Answer it.
Hello, Astrid Price, private investigator.
Mrs. Price?
Ms. Price, and I like it that way. Who is this?
I do apologise, Ms. Price. My name is Peter Jennings. We've not met yet. I'm the President's chief advisor.
It's only the President's chief advisor, ma'am.
What did I say?
Look, I can't really talk on the phone. The President, Roland Rowlands, would like to meet you. There's a little conundrum we'd like your advice on.
This guy needed more than a plumbing English accent to make me come running. OK, Mr. Jennings, sorry to sound a little sceptical, but may I ask how you've heard of me?
Of course. Your renown precedes you. The finding of St. David's bones, Owain Glyndwr's last resting place, the case of the missing postman.
Wow, a man who does his own work.
And, of course, then there are your sporting achievements. In ice hockey with the Glynneath Globetrotters and in Tiddlywinks with the Glamorgan Glory Holes.
I was warming to his English charms. All right, Jenny, enough of the smooth talk. Let's hear what the President has got to say. Where do you want me? I mean, where shall I come?
Good God. Shall we say 12 o'clock? Prompt at HQ. See you then.
HQ. Glamorous. I end the call and clatter down the stairs as Ma'am calls after me.
Can you get some wheelios on your way back from seeing the President, Carriad?
Yes, Ma'am. Perhaps this would be my ticket to a better class of clientele. I could do with earning a few more Glyndwrs. But I was proud I could stand on my own 2 feet, proud of our bedsit above the seediest chip shop in Carsnewydd, the Lion Cod. I walk past the kitchen where the owner, Stakis Theodorakis, is peeling potatoes.
Hey, Astrid!
All right, Stakis.
Hey, listen, I practice my pillow talk. Tonight, I tell your mother for the first time, I say, hey, Mrs. P. For you, there is always a battered sausage ear in my heart. What you think, eh? Astrid, you think she like it, eh?
Yes, Stakis. Oh, yes, she'll love that. But maybe you could call her by her first name now. You've been friends for a while. It's Branwen, remember?
Branwen, innit? Of course. I so embarrassed. A little too much ouzo. I so sorry. I guess a little tipple, then I flouts the rules of decency. My passion, it makes me, how you say, inappropriationate?
Stakis. I think she likes it really. Bit of banter. Didn't she make an innuendo once about an onion ring?
An in your what?
An innuendo.
An in my endo?
Oh, never mind. I gotta go. I got bigger fish to fry. See you later.
Fish? No, I fry the fish. Hey, come back, Astrid!
He's a dream. Treats Ma'am like a latter-day Shirley Valentine. I cross the street as a man at the bus stop recognises me, does a passing imitation of my by-now-famous kick-for-goal routine. Stroke the air, wiggle the hips, do-si-do. Stroke the air, wiggle the hips, do-si-do. Finger in the ear, scratch the armpit. Then he kicks an imaginary rugby ball at the passing number 11 bus. Oh, it's nice to be recognised. At the other side of town, I get into my beloved yellow Gilburn, fruit of the lines at Llantwet Vardre. I love that car. I tear up the tarmac on the Usk Valley Road towards HQ. I switch on Giri, the Gilburn Intelligence Robotic Investigator. Giri, Give me a brief thumbnail on Rollins.
Hello. Would you like to send a text message to Brian?
No, Gary, I would not like to send a text message to Brian. Background, Rollins, now.
Beep. Roland Rowlands, President of the Independent Republic of Cymru, erstwhile Professor of Celtic History, Religion, Neo-Druidism, very eccentric.
In what way eccentric?
Beep. Ancient magic, rituals, dressing up, druidy shit.
Oh, enough of his hobbies, Gary. What about his history?
Beep. Married to Charlotte Shears, Wales's most famous pop star. Oversaw the transition into the Independent Republic of Cymru, or the IRC, negotiated a place at the United Nations between Cuba and Cyprus.
Thank you. Give me more on Charlotte.
Beep. The wild child of Wales. With her raunchy 5-piece band, Fishy Fishy Friend, spelt PH, she became a household name.
And Peter Jennings.
Beep. Born in England. Unclear how and why he moved to Cymru, joined the Welsh Civil Service 3 years ago, a discreet, highly educated diplomat and negotiator, rumoured to be sapiosexual.
Sapiosexual? Thank you, Gary.
Would you like to send a text message to Brian?
No, Gary, I would not like to send a fucking text message to Brian.
That's not very pleasant.
Goodbye, Gary. Beep. This Jennings sounds interesting. I know what it's like to be different. People have been trying to put me in boxes since I was a teenager. That's why I have a no-boxes policy in my life. It makes moving house very difficult, but I get by. Leaves were falling as I approach HQ, brown, red and gold. They cried out for a Vermeer or a Rembrandt to do them justice. It's a beautiful autumn, I think to myself. I arrive at the security barriers. After a thorough search and ID check, I'm through. I park amongst Daimlers and Rolls. A tall man, dressed in an exquisitely well-cut suit, appears from nowhere as the dragon flags flutter in the breeze. The waft of incredibly expensive aftershave sends my pulse to 120 beats per minute.
Ms. Price, I presume.
That's me. He pushes an immaculately manicured hand towards me.
I'm Peter Jennings.
Let me guess. Dior Sauvage.
Oh, yes. How did you know?
Harrods.
Ha-ha! Well done. Ruthless efficiency. That's what we want. Will you walk this way, please?
So, this is HQ. It's an impressive building, but hardly what you'd think to be the headquarters of a socialist republic. He gives me a patronising, you don't understand jack shit about politics kind of laugh.
Ha-ha-ha. Here we are. President Roland Rowlands will see you now. Everything he has to tell you. Hush, hush, Astrid,
Oh, of course. Hush, hush, Jenny. We arrive at a beautiful Welsh oak-panelled door. Jenny opens it.
Mr. President, dewch chi mewn.
In you go, Astrid.
There he sits, with a shock of white hair, broad shoulders and looking younger than his 65 years. Roland Rowlands rises to greet me, looking every inch a statesman, the father of the nation.
Shwmai, Mrs. Price, a chroeso I ddyfnderoedd a llywodraeth newydd sbon.
Sod the welcome to the depths of the new government, I think. I got to put him right straight away. Nid Mrs. ydw I, ond Miss ar lywydd.
Wrth gwrs, mae'n drwg gen I, Ms. Price. Oh, sorry, Peter. Wasting our precious Welsh on you.
I'm still battling with the language, Ms. Price, and not very successfully, I'm afraid.
Let's get on in English, then. Sorry about all the security. So glad you could come, Ms. Price.
Actually, Mr. President, call me Astrid. Everyone does.
Astrid, tell me, what do you know about Arthur's crown?
Only what everyone else does. Made by the Silurian Celts from Welsh gold, mined by the Romans in their last days year. It's one of the finest Romano-Celtic artefacts we have. It was found after the breakup of the UK during an archaeological dig at Caerleon.
Correct. And for Caerleon, read Camelot. Everyone cried fake, but the experts authenticated it beyond doubt.
King Arthur's crown.
That's right, but the king bit doesn't align with our Republican sensibilities. I need hardly tell you what an icon it is for our new nation. If something should happen to it, oh.
Suddenly, his face turns pale. I'm sure I see him wipe away a small tear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Allow me, sir. You see, Astrid, we were holding a state reception 2 nights ago. On these occasions, we take the crown from its alarmed case and display it at the dinner table.
As Jennings speaks, I notice an empty glass case in the corner of the room.
Everyone was admiring the crown. Then, the following morning, gone.
No trace of it anywhere. Nothing else seems to have been touched, but Arthur's crown is missing. Astrid, find the crown, please. Imagine the scandal if news of us losing the crown never got out. Our enemies would have a field day. The crown is a hot political potato with the potential to paralyse our precious patriotism, if you see what I mean.
Well, I'll do my best. But wait, why me? Why not the police?
The Heddlu Cymru? Out of the question, I'm afraid. The English Settlers Party has infiltrated some of their top ranks. Besides, they're too busy giving out speeding tickets.
I could feel my inner detective stirring in my belly. My well-honed line of inquiry gene was kicking in. OK, Peter, tell me who was in the room that night.
Well, let's see. There was obviously myself, the President, and the Preve Lady, the Cornish Premier, the Scottish Prevere and her husband, the Prime Minister of Ulster and her wife. Oh, and then there was also the leader of the English Settlers Party.
Barry Gaddams? He was here.
Politics, Astrid. Better to have him inside the tent pissing out rather than inside the tent cacking on my shoes. Isn't that right, Jennings? Well, something like that. You see, Astrid, we were trying to do a bit of pan-British Isles bridge building.
So, you said the crown comes out on these occasions. People can touch it.
Well, unofficially, yes.
Wear it?
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm sure I catch Rowlands shoot a guilty glance at Jennings. You've never worn it then, Mr. President?
Never, when? No.
From his protestation, I deduce that when the Welsh whisky kicks in, they all have a go at playing King Arthur. I'm not entirely stupid. Mr. President, who discovered that the crown was missing?
My wife, Charlotte.
Can I talk to her?
Really?
Yes, really. The President presses the intercom on his desk.
Charlotte?
Yes, Rolly?
Cariad mae'r detective yma. Fedri di ddod mewn am eiliad.
Then, too instantly, the door opens and a tall, elegant-looking woman wearing a black dress that must have cost at least 10,000 Glyndwrs breezes in. I can see why half the world had succumbed to her charms and bought her terrible records.
Charlotte, this is the detective, Astrid Price.
Ah, the rugby player turned super sleuth.
Mrs. Rowlands, could you tell me all you can remember about the missing crown?
Well, there's not much to tell, really. I just came down in the morning to look at it, as I do every day, and it wasn't there.
Was it alarmed?
Well, no. I was alarmed. I was horrified. The crown was gone.
No, I mean, was the case alarmed?
No, it was just sat there, empty, without a care in the world.
No, never mind. Mr. President, is there an alarm on the display case? And if so, who knows the code to switch it off?
Yes, there is, and I know it, of course, Peter and one or two of my trusted guards.
But not your wife, I presume. There is the briefest of pauses, but big enough to stink.
Well, yes, actually.
Your wife knows the switch-off code? I can hardly keep the surprise out of my voice. Charlotte makes what I feel is a nervous gesture, sweeping her blonde hair back with her hand, just enough to reveal a deep blue mark on the nape of her neck.
Well, I'm observant by nature, you see.
So am I, lady.
Yes, and I must have seen Roland take the crown out so many times to play with.
To look at, I think my wife means, Ms. Price.
Yes, to look at. Roland takes out the crown so many times to look at and hold that the combination must have stuck in my brain.
I've obviously uncovered something embarrassing to the President, the first leader of the IRC, fingering a national treasure, and I don't mean his wife. OK, what happened at the end of this state dinner? Did anything unusual happen?
Barry was the first to leave, big coat over his arm, I remember now, probably hiding something inside it.
Peter's outburst is a little surprising. It seems pre-rehearsed. I notice a glance pass between him and the President.
Go on, Peter. Go on.
Peter looks uneasy, sweating, gulping. He opens his mouth, but no words come out. The President steps in.
Yes. Normally, Charlotte and I would see everyone off in the lobby and then return here, Astrid, to put the crown back in its place and set the code.
So, Mr. President, I'm sensing that night was different, was it?
Peter? I think you should go on, Mr. President. Well, I must have had a few too many Welsh whiskies and... Charlotte?
We may have forgotten to put the crown back in the case, and we went upstairs. Then the next thing we knew was in the morning. You know the rest. All hell broke loose, and, well, here you are, Miss Price.
Who do you suspect, Mr. President?
The English Settlers Party, of course. Their philosophy is, give the Welsh their independence, let them make a pig's ear of it, and they'll be begging to be under English rule again. I know their game. Make the crown disappear, and the Welsh would seem incompetent to all the world.
I think I'll need a chat with a few of your guests, Mr. President. So, let's start with Barry Gaddams.
Excellent.
Where will I find him?
Often propping up the bar in the Bulldog Club. Members only.
Can you get me in?
Already have. Here's your membership card.
Impressive, Mr. Jennings.
We try to keep one step ahead, Ms. Price. Meet your alias, Medwin Morris of the Pembrokeshire ESP.
He thrusts a membership card into my hand. My photograph, taken at the security check moments earlier, embossed, stamped and watermarked on the front.
Ruthless efficiency, Astrid. Ruthless efficiency.
This Peter has style. The class warrior in me cries out for appeasement, but I like him. Mr. President, I'll get back to you as soon as I find anything. Don't worry, I'll let myself out. As I foot it down the corridor, my head is full of questions. Something in my old blood-hound bones is telling me that the answer to those questions lies in this building. I gun the Gilbun back to my bedsit. Giddy, talk to me about Barry Gaddams.
Beep. Barry Gaddams. Ex-army, inherited property and relocated to Casnewydd 30 years ago. Formed the English Settlers Party in defiance of the Welshness of the IRC. Rumoured to be involved with the paramilitary organisation, the English Reunionist Army. Here's an excerpt from his last speech.
Brothers, sisters, mates and matesses, the English who live in Cymru. We're being forced into a ghetto of minority exclusion. It'll be all stovepipe hats and love spoons if we don't rise up against the tide. And the most recent treasure, the discovery of Arthur's crown. Why, it doesn't just belong to the Cymru. Where was Camelot anyway? Cullinan or Winchester? Winchester! Winchester!
I arrive home where I keep my huge wealth of costumes. I climb the rickety stair to the bedsit.
Hey, Astrid!
Oh, what is it, Starkis? I'm in a hurry.
Hey, I say to your mother today, I say, hey, Branwen, what is Branwen? How do you get your beautiful name? And she say, it's in a Mabio. The Mabinogioi, the Mayonnaise-oi.
The Mabinogion, Starkis. Old Welsh stories.
I going to read it. Then I get to know a breaded soul.
I push open the door to the flat. Creak. Slam. Hiya, ma'am.
Hiya, babes. I'm doing my word search as usual.
Oh, what you on?
Bones of a human body. Got one more to go.
Great, can't stop. Got to do a lightning quick persona change.
Oh, Astrid, I decided on the road. There's a man coming to paint the bathroom tomorrow.
Great. I look at my wardrobe. Medwen Morris. Pembrokeshire. Plaid shirt, dungarees, donkey jacket. Very little England. Got it. See you, ma'am. I'm off.
I've got it. Fibula. Flipping fibula.
Creak. Slam. Next, to the Bulldog Club. Peter was good as his word. I'm let in straight away with my fake ID. The Bulldog was the unofficial HQ of the ESP, and sure enough, at the bar is Barry Gaddams, sinking a pint of Drool Britannia. I approach him. Mr. Gaddams.
What?
You don't know me. Medwen Morris, Pembrokeshire ESP.
Never heard of ya.
But I've heard of you. In fact, I've heard you speaking. Brothers, sisters, mates and matesses, etc., etc. Brilliant. So true. So perceptive.
Yeah, well, someone's got to say it like it is, innit?
And you do. You do. I so want to hear more.
Well, do you want a drink?
Gin and tonic, please.
And another pint, mate.
It takes an hour and 3 more pints of Drool Britannia to soften Barry's tongue. My G&Ts go straight into my specially adapted handbag.
So I says to her, I says, you can stick your flowering daffodil up your back garden, love. Ha ha!
Oh, you're so funny, Barry, and so brave.
Brave?
Yeah. Word's out, you've made a little conquest.
What you on about?
Little birdie told me of a gem of a steal the other night, President's reception.
Oh, yeah, that golden party hat thing. Arthur's crown, yeah, I stole that proper.
So it's true, you were there.
Oh, yeah, I was there all right, eating bloody seaweed, yeah. We was taking back what's ours, aren't we, yeah?
He looks at me strangely. There's something about the way he'd parted his hair that made me know he was lying. You didn't steal it, did you, Barry?
What? Oh, bloody Nora, no. Shh, don't tell no one. It was that Ponce Rowlands. Had it on his head the whole time. Couldn't get near it. I wanted to nick it, but him and his missus, that bird off the telly, they was dancing around with it all night on their heads, spouting that gobbledygook crap they all speak.
I think you'll find that was the Welsh language, Barry.
Yeah? Well, it's rude, innit? Speaking that in front of us what don't understand. He's there singing, V.U. Brendan the Castiff, and she's all, Elcombe line, and or something. And then it starts to get really weird. All the other leaders are all groping each other and stuff. I legged it before I got harassed. God, I'd love to get my hands on that crown. Pity. Maybe next time.
Barry's phone rings.
Excuse me. Hello? Enoch! How you doing, buddy?
I didn't need a lie detector to know he'd told the truth this time. My mind was racing. What was going on at that party? Where was King Arthur's crown? All I had was fragments. I had to fit these jigsaw pieces together. I hoof it to the ladies in Nabba cubicle. I have to think hard, surmise, project, guess and conclude. There I am, sat on the bog, going through a few Dai Chi salutations. It always focuses my deductions. The whose coat is that jacket and the where to by year stretches never let me down. I think through every moment of my disjointed day, and suddenly it all falls into a beautiful, connected arc, a gossamer thin, golden stream of truth. I finish my wee, and I know I'm on the right track. Seconds later, and I'm in the Gilburn again, motoring up the Usk Valley. I switch on the Gilburn Intelligence Robotic Investigator. Giddy, Google the President's diary.
Would you like to send a text message to Brian?
No, Giddy, I would not like to send a fucking text message to Brian.
Well, that's not very pleasant.
Giddy, just tell me what the President and Preve Lady are doing at the moment.
Beep. President of the Independent Republic of Cymru. Appointments. He and his wife are currently attending a coracle launch on the River Havren.
Thank you, Giddy.
Would you like to send a text message to Brian?
No, Giddy, I do not want to send a fucking text message to Brian.
Well, that's not very pleasant.
Bang! I remove my rounders back from Giddy's processing module and I arrive at HQ. Earlier, I'd spotted a number of flaws in the security system, and now I could exploit them fully. I limbo under the electronic beam fence, cartwheel over the laser tripwire, skirt the walls where I know the cameras are blind, a quick jimmy to a casement window, a flick and a flack, and I'm in, just where I want to be, right by the staff changing room. 10 seconds later, I emerge as a 70-year-old chambermaid. I make my way to the President's bedroom. I need those last pieces of the jigsaw. Sure enough, I find them. I snap some shots and send them straight to the cloud. Hello?
Astrid,
Hello, Peter.
the President and his wife were wondering if you'd made any progress on the case.
OK, listen, Jenny. I know who took the crown.
Oh, right you are. You'd better come over to HQ.
I'm already here. 5 minutes later, I'm in the centre of the elliptical office, surrounded by Peter Jennings, the Preve Lady and the President. Mr. President, I thought you and the Preve Lady were attending a coracle launch.
Yes, well, we had to cancel. I'm frightfully allergic to wicker, don't you know?
I see.
Astrid, is Barry Gaddams going to get his comeuppance? And why are you wearing a chambermaid's uniform?
I'm incognito, Mr. President.
Incognito, Mr. President?
No, incognito, disguised, undercover. Or should I say, under the bed covers of the new Cymru government.
Bed covers? What is she talking about?
Bed covers? What are you talking about?
Bed covers, that's what I'm talking about.
Bed covers? What am I talking about?
Stop. Just bear with me, Mr. President. Now, am I right in saying that you are a professor of Celtic studies?
You are?
Pretty potty about your pre-ancestors, even obsessive.
Obsessive? Well, yes.
Fetishistic even, if that's a word.
Excuse me, what's this got to do with Barry Gaddens?
Nothing. That's the point. And you, Mrs. Rowlands, how would you describe your sex life?
I beg your pardon? That's none of your business.
Oh, but it is, and it'll be the business of the whole of the Welsh press before long, not to mention social media.
Social media? No. Our sex life is a private affair.
So, Mr. and Mrs. President, the sex, raunchy, unorthodox, communal?
I have 5 million followers, Miss Price, and a reputation to maintain.
Astrid, what on earth does all this mean?
You'll see, Peter. It was the blue mark on the nape of your neck, Mrs. Rowlands. You'd missed a bit when you cleaned up after your prehistoric rutting, hadn't you? That blue, it was woad.
How do you know about woad?
Because that's the colour my mam is painting our bathroom. The Celts covered themselves in woad before going to battle. Isn't that right, Professor Rowlands? And in this case, for battle, read nookie.
Nookie?
Yes, nookie, hanky-panky, daubing the dirty dragon, whatever you like to call it. So, here's a scenario, Mr. Rowlands. On those special nights when the leaders of the Celtic nations come to tea, the crown comes out, and you a wife and you a guest, wear it while writhing around in a bacchanalian bonanza, all flicking Grandma's elbow together.
Flicking Grandma's elbow?
Yes. When the cheese course is done and the servants have gone, you and your guests strip off, woad up, tempt the turquoise todger and cavort with the crown until the wee hours. Ooh, Secretary of State for the Isle of Man, you're so big. Glod, glod, clwch, clwch, Brenin Arthur, dyma eich Morwyn yn ildio, ildio.
Oh my God. 5 million followers.
Astrid, this is preposterous.
Don't play coy with me, roly-poly. The earth moves, or at least parts of Gwent do. Normally, after your guests leave, you and your wife clean up, put the crown back, set the alarms and go to bed. Isn't that right, Mr. President? Except that night you forgot to return it to the security case, didn't you? You fell asleep upstairs after your sexcapades in an exhausted heap. The next day, the guard finds the empty case and raises the alarm. You knew you'd have to fess up to the previous night's frolics if you admitted to having the crown in your bedroom. You enlisted poor Jenny Year's help to cover for you. The idea was to engage me in the hope that I'd bungle the case, but perhaps throw the scent onto the ESP.
Ha ha! Very convincing. Who would believe this nonsense?
Thank you. That's where the chambermaid comes in. Perhaps if I were to release the photos I have of those blue smears all over your bed, towels, walls and windows, then Mrs. Rowland's 5 million followers might believe it.
Rowland, do something.
Peter, advise me for Christ's sake. You're my advisor. Ruthless efficiency, Astrid. It seems to me, Mr. President, you have 2 options. 1, come out. Stand up for the rights of people to have group sex covered in emulsion. It might increase your profile with the younger crowd. Kinky President, V cool.
Rowland, no!
Hang on, Charlotte. And option 2, Peter. Resign. You want to spend more time with your family.
Over my dead body!
Over your blue body, I think you mean.
No. There's a 3rd option. The politician's option. Astrid, what say you to a little assignment?
I was suddenly reminded of my dream. The politicians, the slime and lies. Assignment, Mr. President?
Yes, assignment. Using all your skills, you deposit the crown somewhere in the vicinity of Barry Gaddens, boot of his car, loft of his offices. Easy for someone like you. Then Astrid Price, sleuth extraordinaire, discovers Arthur's crown, stolen by the ESP, saves the day, snap, photo op. The ESP in a scandal of Arthurian proportions, fame and glory for Astrid Price.
And us off the hook. 5 million followers saved.
and a little 10,000 Glyndwrs appears in your bank account.
There was a silence in the big room. I paced up and down a little. Boy, I could do with 10,000 Glyndwrs. I thought, what would my dad have done? And I make my choice. Mr. and Mrs. President, it's pointless to tell a politician to look to their morals, but Jennings here has given you 2 options. I am not a third. You must make you a choice. Good night. As I leave the room, I catch Peter Jennings silently clapping. It was late when I got home. Stackis had closed up, but I could just make out the shadow of him reading a book in his bedroom window, and faintly heard him reading out loud.
Then spake Matoluce to Branwen.
I enter the flat. Creak. Slam. I pop the box of Weerios from the late-night supermarket on the table and crawl into bed. In the morning, me and Mam hear the news of the President's resignation. Hello?
Astrid, it's Peter.
Oh, hello, Jenny. How are you?
I've been promoted to the head of MI6. Can you believe it?
That's fantastic news, Jenny. I'm thrilled.
Can I buy you dinner, Astrid? Tell you what, come round to my place and I'll cook. Be good to get to know each other.
I thought about the effect the Dior Sauvage would have on me for a whole evening. Then I wised up. You know what, Peter? Right now, I think I'm better off staying mysterious. We'll have plenty more time. Trust me.
Oh, I do, my dear. And if you ever need help with anything, do call.
Oh, I will, Peter. I will. Nice to have met you.
Thank you, everyone. Diolch yn fawr iawn. That was King Arthur's Crown, episode 1 of Astrid Investigates. Whew, how was that for you, Dan?
Knackering, but really good fun. Thank you, Tim.
Well done. And for you, Manon?
Great, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to the next one, but I got to go and pick my dog up now, if you don't mind. So can I go? Someone's looking after her, because I was really worried about her making noises during the recording.
Oh, those noises weren't the dog. Okay. So, of course, Manon, off you go pick up your dog. I'm just going to let the audience know that episode 2 will be coming shortly. If you're listening to the live stream, it'll be available next Thursday. And if you've purchased this off a digital platform, then episode 2 will be available at the same place. Look out for the entire first series, which will be available to purchase for a discounted rate after October the 29th, 2020. Finally, if you're interested to see how we make the show, there'll be a film documentary available shortly that'll give you behind-the-scenes visuals. We'll also be doing a live question and answer session soon, where we invite individuals to join us on Zoom to ask us questions about the series, etc. So for info on those things and more, please go to our website www.flyingbridgetheatre.co.uk and like our Facebook page, Flying Bridge Theatre. This has been a Flying Bridge Theatre production in conjunction with Theatre Jam Communications and Arts Council Wales. I've been Tim Baker and still am. Thank you, goodbye, nostar, diolch yn fawr iawn.